Okay, today is April the 17th, and this is my professional development on Kahoot with Miss Goebel.
Hello.
And my name is Miss Dina Bowen. And in a minute, we're going to do a little bit of an introduction about Kahoot to get her started. But first, I want to go ahead and introduce her just a little bit. This is Miss Goebel again, and I'm going to go ahead and let you tell what you teach and everything, if you don't care.
Okay, I'm Miss Goebel. This is my 30th year teaching. I've taught it all. I teach at Inez Elementary School. I teach art and music from K through 5th. I also do intervention with math, 4th and 5th.
Okay, and just kind of giving a little bit of information here, you've never worked with Kahoot before?
Never.
No, okay, so we kind of picked a good program to use, or website as we could say to use. It's free, and we were going to do Scratch, but I figured that would be a little hard sometimes with the younger ones and stuff, because it's a lot of information to know, and I thought something that we talked before that you were looking for something maybe to do an assessment with them or an introduction with them. Kahoot can do all that. Yeah. So we'll be ready, and I'm going to go ahead and start the intro to this one just to kind of give an idea, and then we'll go from there. So. Are your students bored?
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. Unmotivated.
Yes.
Engage and inspire students.
No, I haven't.
That's what we're going to learn today.
Is this something we can do on an iPad also?
Yes, yes. Your devices you can use a phone, you can use a computer, you can use an iPad. My students have used their phones many times in the classrooms when I've created quizzes or review games or anything like that. They know just automatically get their phones out, they know how to log into it and get started, and everything works. So they enjoy it. The first thing that I kind of wanted to do with you today is kind of give you a little bit of a taste of Kahoot. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pull up an actual, I keep grabbing that each time. Get down here and get the right one. And in Kahoot, I actually have an account. I have signed in and ready, and I've kind of created just a little bit to let you play it and let you see what it's like. So what I'm going to do is I've signed into Kahoot. This is what it looks like. This is, I think, the new 2017 version of it. I've been kind of looking around, and so now we have under my Kahoots, I have created recently a few games and stuff for review games and everything, but today we're going to kind of do the intro. So I'm going to go ahead and click play, and it is starting, loading up. This is what it looks like. And as you can kind of see, we've got player versus play devices, which is classic one-on-one, or they can do it by teams. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that you can do games options. You can enable answer streak bonuses. They give bonuses in that. In a minute, you're getting ready to watch a PD on a lot of this that'll explain everything. But first thing I want to do is just kind of let you play around with it and let you see yourself what it's about. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do full screen, and I will go ahead, and before I click classic, I'm going to let you use the iPod today. So this will be your device that you're using, and there's an app for that. So all you have to do is go to Kahoot, and then it'll show up when you click the app. This is what comes up: join games instantly. This is what the student's version of it is. And then you hit play now. Takes it just a minute sometime to log in. I hope everything will turn out. Well, technology, don't you love it?
And it always happens.
Come on. If it don't do this one, we can do another one. I'll try it again. It did it just yesterday when I logged in. Maybe I have to go. Let me go ahead and hit the classic and let's see. Let's see, ready to join. Get your phone, tablets. Okay, this is usually what shows up for the teacher side. I'm going to go ahead and mute that for the noise. And like I said, we're going to have trouble with my iPad. Just a second here. Let's see if we can get this to go. I guess this is anything that you come across sometimes.
Always. It never fails.
Yeah. And especially when you're sitting down and doing it with a class.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you sit down and it's like, are the kids, and one thing I have found that will happen every once in a while is like I've had students to turn around and get logged in, and because of the internet connection, you have to have good internet connection, that it will throw them off the game. They have to get back in, what was the code and all that kind of stuff. And you can actually have it set up to each one of your questions that you have up there. In case that happens, they can still see the code, or you can write it down on the board somewhere so they know to automatically just get back in and start playing again. Yeah. So it kind of saves on some time. And like I said, I don't know if this is going to do. If it doesn't, then we'll try to do our computer. For stuff like this to start happening. That's just the way it always goes. They'll see it sitting and it's waiting for players. And then the students are going to go onto that page, and then it starts asking you questions to go in. And like I said, if I can't get it to work, we'll go a different route. We'll try something else. Let's see if it's going to work now. Yeah. Yes, there we go. All right. So now it's asking you to put in the game pin. The number is, click on the, okay, it is 9792094.
And enter.
Yeah.
Nickname.
Okay, so you're going to put a nickname in.
Okay, just my name?
Yeah, it's whatever you want to put. Sometimes you have to be careful with kids on here because they'll put certain things that shouldn't be on
You
there.
say nickname.
Yeah, when you
They
say
really
nickname,
think
exactly, they think nickname. All right, and see, now Martha has showed up, so we're ready to play. And we have player 1, and it says get ready, and it says 1, 2, 3 sections. All right, now. Okay, it says, are you excited to be here today for this Kahoot
Oh,
PD?
yes. Well, mine's not on yet.
Okay, now you're ready to answer.
Okay, so it's blue the diamond, yes?
Yeah, look, you got to look at the screen to see it.
Yes.
And you're matching. Okay. Each time it'll tell you when the next question's getting ready to come up.
Absolutely.
So what you're playing right now is what your students play. You're the student of it.
Did the video catch your attention?
The beginning video we just watched.
Yes. Easy so far?
So far pretty easy.
Yeah.
Good.
So this is just like an answer
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Kahoot would motivate your students? Oh, any kind of game would.
Good. That's why I tried to help pick something that I think that that your students would be motivated to. So.
Are you ready? I am.
Okay. Now, on this one, they're getting ready. It says, you notice, it says, thanks for taking part in this. And it's asking to download the results. Naughty nicknames, beware. You can go through. In a minute when you see the PD, you can check on those.
Okay.
All right. And so now we're going to turn around and exit the full screen. And I'm going to go ahead and stop. And we'll stop this one. I'll go ahead and close it. Leave page. All right, so now what I wanted to do, any questions so far? Seemed pretty easy, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're just, the kids are logging in, and you already have the game created and the questions and everything, and then the kids get logged in. It's just by code. You have a code, and they, like I said, I've used it before, and the kids have loved it. They love doing these review games.
Well,
they
it's
love
like the responders that we used to use.
Yes, exactly. And it's mobile. You can use it on anything. And it's still asking them questions. It's getting them motivated because they're looking for that next question in there to see what's going on, and they've got to pay attention to what's going on.
And it gives for my little ones, it gives them
Yeah, exactly. Now, and in a minute, like I said, when you talking about with the time, I'll mention the next video that I'm wanting you to watch, and then we'll see if you have any questions with that, and then I want to talk to you. We'll actually do our own Kahoot. We'll create you an account, let you practice with uploading pictures, questions of your own and everything. And I mean, it's pretty simple to use. It really is. But with talking about the time, giving the kids time, sometimes, especially younger ones, need more time to process the question or answering. You can change the times on the questions.
Oh, that's
yes.
nice.
So it gives them a little more time to put the answer in. Now, what I'm going to do, and I think if I already have this up here, and I'm going to go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and I know this video is a little longer. It says it's like 19 minutes, but it's some really good information, and I just thought it would be good to go ahead and let you view it and listen into it and so forth, give you an idea, so you kind of already have an idea when I start talking to you about us creating this and everything. Okay. So sometimes some videos are pretty good. So let's take this
tutorial. We're going to learn all about a website called Kahoot, and the actual address is getkahoot.com. And what is this for? Well, Kahoot is for turning student devices, whether they be cell phones that they own, or whether they be Kindles, or whether they be iPads from the school or from home, or just laptops, Chromebooks, desktop
Do you all
computers.
have-
It really doesn't
We have
matter.
iPads.
Just about
We have
any device.
iPads.
Okay.
But you can turn those
And
devices
iPods.
into clickers, just like the old expensive clicker systems that a lot of schools have in their closets, and a lot of people still use them, and they're great. But in today's world, so many students have something much more powerful than a clicker sitting in their pocket.
That's true.
They have a cell phone or a smartphone, to be more precise. And that smartphone is much more powerful than those clicker systems. Let's learn how to use Kahoot to turn just about any device into a clicker system. And it's wonderful for formative assessment. You can pull in the information from all of your students, analyze it, and see where you're lacking. Maybe you forgot to teach something, maybe you need to reteach something. As a teacher myself, this is invaluable information for me to learn what I need to do differently or better, what I need to reteach or review. And then it's also excellent information for the students. They get to see what they need to work on to raise themselves to the standard. So let's get started. I'm going to click sign in to sign into my account. If you don't have an account, of course you'll go here where it says sign up for free. You'll choose your role. You put in a school or university, put in some account details, click create account, and that quickly you can have your own Kahoot account. Now in Kahoot, there's a couple of places you need to be aware of when you sign into your account. It takes you to this page basically with your most important tools and links and things that you'll need in order to use Kahoot. Across the top of the screen, you've got the ability to make a new Kahoot. You can see a list of the Kahoots you've made in the past. You can go to some public Kahoots and notice that there are 14.2 million Kahoots already made. Now, to be honest, not all of these are fully completed, but there's a lot of work already done. You may be able to just find a Kahoot that matches exactly what you teach.
That's awesome.
So let's say you're a calculus teacher, do a search for calculus, and I know that's not a very specific topic there, but take a look. Several different Kahoots already made about calculus. If you want, you can mark it to only show Kahoots made by teachers, because students do make Kahoots as well, and that will narrow the results down a little bit. But anyway, that's a very useful option. And in a lot of cases, you can basically copy these Kahoots that other people have made and pull them into your own account. So that's a very important link there. There's also frequently asked questions and support. So those are all very useful links up here at the top. Here's your account information. You can click there to edit your profile, see the results of your Kahoots and things like that. I'm going to go back to Kahoot, to the main page by clicking this Kahoot button. And let's focus now on the other important part of the screen. You've got these 4 big buttons that are quick links to 4 different things that you can create with Kahoot. And each of these 4 different kinds of Kahoots are worthy of your attention and your exploration. I'm going to focus mostly on quiz, but as you can see, you can also use Kahoot to generate discussion. You can also use it as a survey, gather students' opinion, get insight, things like that. And there's this new jumble game. So let's jump into quiz. I'm going to create a new quiz for my students to play on their own devices. First thing I need to do in creating my quiz is give it a title and fill in some other basic information. So I'm going to call this the parts of speech, give it a description, decide for whom it's going to be visible. You can really choose if it's just for you and your students to participate in, or is it for everyone. The language and the audience. I'm going to go to school for audience. And this is an important spot where you can give credit for the resources that you use, whether you took questions maybe from a public source or something, or maybe for the images that you use or videos. Speaking of video, you have an option here at the bottom to have an intro video. And as you see there, this is a video that will play while the students are joining your Kahoot. It's a great way to activate prior knowledge and their background information and get them ready to participate in this Kahoot. And I'd like to do that, so I'm just going to jump out to YouTube, and here is a video about the parts of speech in English. I'll just go up to the top of the YouTube page, click on the URL, it automatically highlights the whole thing, and then I'll copy that with Control-C or Command-C, or you can right-click on it if you want, and choose copy. And then I'll paste it in here to the intro video section. I should also probably put it here in the credit resources, and you'll see the results of that in just a minute. Now in the upper right corner, you can add a cover image, which I do recommend. So I'm just going to jump over to Google Images, and here's an image that I found that I'd like to use. So I'm going to right-click on it, choose Save Image As, save it to the desktop to make it nice and easy, and then back in Kahoot, I can click Add Image, select the image, and it's going to try to add that in as the cover image. It looks like it worked, and I'll click OK Go, and then.
Okay, so in talking about that, I wanted to stop. Is like that's what we were talking about before of pulling up images. Since you do art and music, if there's something that you're discussing, then you can pull up an image that you need to discuss and show them. And as when that question comes up for that, or you can have it, you can have this picture or description in every one of them that you do, every question. Oh, bless you.
Excuse me.
And it will show up each time, each question. You can have the same picture, or you can do different ones.
Okay.
So now the only thing with it is like you have to keep uploading it each time. So.
Now that I've got all that basic information in, I can jump in and start building questions for my quiz. Kahoot has made it pretty easy to make these quizzes. All you have to do is click Add Question and use this form or this wizard to create question number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and say, what part of speech is the word dog? Do I want this to be worth points? Yeah, sure. What's the time limit for this question?
Here's
maybe
where you
want to
can
make sure
do
the
for
students have
them
plenty of time,
the time.
or maybe you want them to have to be super quick in their response. That's up to you. And then you can go in and put in the answers. Okay, now of course you want to put some incorrect answers in there, and then put a check mark next to the correct answer. It is possible to have more than one correct answer, as you can see. Alright, now again, if I want to make this a more visual activity, I could click Add Image, and I could pull in, let's say, a picture of a dog from a Google search or a Bing search or whatever it might be. So I'll just right-click, Save Image As, save it in, and click Add Image. Great, I'm done with question 1.
See, that's
now
awesome.
I just click
Yeah.
Next, and I add question 2, and repeat the process. So give me a couple of minutes, I'll create a few questions, and then we'll continue with the tutorial. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. I've made 3 total questions about the parts of speech, and they're listed here. Once I created that last question, it took me here to this page. Now, I do have some options here before I save my quiz and use it. For one, I could reorder the questions. If it's important that they come in a certain order, I can make that happen here. I can revise a few things. I can change the time limits on them if I've changed my mind about that. I can go in and change individual questions. Maybe I've made a spelling mistake.
I'm having a lot of technology issues.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's today. This is what always happens. You can create you a quiz. That's where, like I said, it's introduction, review, reward. Brand new game, jumble. Discussion, you can put a question up and just have a discussion like we do bell ringers, we do exit tickets and all that stuff. And then surveys, and to get their actual gather opinion and insight. And that's what you're kind of going to do for me right at the end. You played one of the games, but after we kind of get you used to the Kahoot and you creating your own, then at the end, kind of get a survey of seeing how you liked it. And so if there's some questions and stuff at the end. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to you, and I'll let you go ahead and get started. We'll do a new Kahoot, and we'll just let you play around with it, and we'll let you go ahead and maybe just maybe a couple questions, nothing big.
Okay.
And you can we can even maybe, there's one other thing that I wanted to kind of teach you. Let's see if it's going to click. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Okay, sorry. You want to do a survey or quiz? Does it matter?
Quiz is fine.
Okay, that's fine. I wasn't even thinking of what I was doing there.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can go ahead and give it a title.
Okay, let's do art.
Okay.
I could do vocabulary.
Okay. Good choice.
I can't type sideways.
Yeah, that's fine. Turn it around there for you. There you go.
I wanted to say
Okay.
vocabulary.
Okay. And send a description out. And if you don't put a description here, when you get down at the end and you go to save it, it's going to ask you for a description. So you got to put in something.
Okay.
So, you could just say
Art words.
Yeah.
And their meaning.
Okay, there you go. Okay, your next thing is asking you to visible to everyone, or is this going to be to just me?
No.
Now, if you did everyone, then someone can, once you save it, then it'll
That's
show
fine.
up. Okay. All right, so then English in your language, and then this is it. That's okay, go ahead and click, that's fine. And it's asking you to please select an audience. Now, is this going to be to your school, your university, so forth? Okay. All right, now, let's work with having to do an image. We can practice with, I want you to play around with trying to do an image. And if we want to try to find a video, we can do that also. That way you're comfortable with it.
Okay.
All right, and so now if we hit on upload an image, we don't have anything yet, but that's where we can go ahead and do a new tab. And then in this tab, we can do Google and we can search. So first question if you have in mind, search you up an image to put in there.
Or is this just an image?
Well, this is just going to be, sorry, take it back. This is going to be just an image as soon as it comes up.
Okay.
That at the beginning, it'll show that image. So if you want to just find something on art or words, art words, maybe.
Artwork or something.
Yeah.
My own images? No.
Let's see. There you go.
Oh, I love this.
Okay.
I click.
Okay, so now what we can do is open that one, view page, or view the image.
Okay.
Okay, and let's see if it's going to let us do it that way. It may ask us to go the other way. Hold on, let me close. This is where it's at. Let's do visit page. I may have to scroll down to find it.
Any one of those is great.
Any one
I
of
like
those?
that one. Oh, no, it is. There it is. Starts right now.
Okay, okay. So we click on that one. All right. And now we're going to, it says start download. Convert. Okay, now sometimes these are easier to get to get an image. Sometimes it's a little bit easier and then some are not.
Right.
So we'll try it and we'll see. Double click. That's asking for
Now you're
install.
asking you to install something.
Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, so we'll go through. Let's just
anything.
Yeah, it don't matter. We'll just hit. Let's go back and let's see if there's anything else that it will let us. Let's do this. Images.
Yeah, it's good.
Images, and see if it gives us something that's a little different. It's still giving us that, but like I said, hopefully, sometimes if you just click on it, it'll bring it up, but it's not going to on that one.
What about right click? Maybe that would do it.
Let's see. Let's do that one. Let's do view image. Okay, there's one. But let's see if it's going to end up. Now, here's what I usually do. We can do this way. Let me show you a little shortcut here. This is
Alright.
what I've learned. If you,
down.
on a Mac, now this is only on a Mac that way, but what I usually do is I do Shift, Command, 4.
Okay, write that down. Shift,
Command, 4.
Command, 4.
And see how it kind of gives me a
Yeah.
little star? Well, I can click in this corner, hold it down, and scroll, and it just took a
Oh,
screenshot.
that's awesome.
Okay, so now we're going to go find that on our desktop. It should be here, and there's my screenshot.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so now let's pull it back up, and let's look at our Kahoot that you're in. We're going to do upload image, and screenshot is here, and so we're going to open, and there's your screenshot.
Oh, I like it. I
Okay.
really like it.
Yes. All right.
Okay, this
so,
is to do a screenshot.
and then you can put in your credit resources where you found it for. Like he showed us earlier, we can just go find the website for it. We can copy and paste, and then with that, like so right here, and then we're just going to hold.
Right.
Yes, and copy and paste, and then when we
With
come to
credit.
that, yes, and we can put it into the credit, so we give them credit.
Okay.
And so, because we want to, there we
Okay,
go.
that's awesome.
All right. So, and then if you want to try to find you a video, that's up to you. You're going, just like he showed us, to do a video, what you would do is you would end up, you could even maybe play art music,
Yeah.
you know, at the beginning of it or something. And so, or music, not art music.
As I'm
but-
saying, music, yeah.
Yeah, in music. But you can.
This would be handy with music.
Yes.
With
Yes.
videos.
Yes. So I wanted something you could use. I
Yeah.
wanted something that you all could use. And then you take this, and like I said, there may be some other teachers at your school that know some of this, but then some of them don't know nothing about this. I was only introduced to Kahoot probably 2 or 3 years ago. And I don't get to use it all the time, but when I sit down and have extra time to sit down and plan, because like I said, we teachers, we don't have a lot of time, but I tried something, I was like, it's so easy. So it's like, you know, why not try to use it out there? And if you can find ones that are already created. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in
Right.
playing.
all right, and so now it says to, okay, go, we've got everything. If we're not going to put a video, but kind of know how to do that. If you have any questions with that later, we can take care of. And then now you're ready to start your questions on it.
Okay.
Okay, so when we turn around and click our first, then it gives it again, and notice we can add a video, we can do an image. We're going to do the first question, and then we've got to have 4 answers. Click the right one and
Okay.
go through. So go ahead and you can start, and we'll do each one. So we'll just come up maybe with a couple of questions, and we're ready to go.
Name the tops of the lines. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then I could do, I can write the correct one and then switch it around, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. There's so many of them. Straight. I could do, I'm trying to think what I could do. I could do several that are the same, that are right.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Straight,
Yeah.
zigzag.
Because as they showed us, we could turn around and click more than one right answer. We can have the check mark on what ones were right.
What would be a good wrong one? I'm gonna put triangle.
Okay.
Because that's the one. And then curve.
Okay. Okay. And then now, and then
This
like I said,
was-
if we
yeah.
take, okay, this one is an answer.
Yeah.
This one is an answer,
Mhm.
right? And then this one is an answer.
Mhm.
All right. So they could pick any of those 3, and they're going to get points
Okay.
in the taking the quiz. And then again, if we turn around and we can upload an image, you could load. I would almost say if you found an image maybe that had all those on there, or one of them at least. Like I said, maybe a short video that they would watch about that. And upload, just as long as we give our credits for it. It's up to you. You could even go back and do your same image. We can turn around and put that same image in there.
Yeah, because it's got a lot of lines in it.
Right. So we could
That's
actually
awesome.
put it in there. And then you can actually remove it or replace, whatever you want to do. And then so when you hit next, now you're ready for your
I like
second
it. I
questions.
like
Yeah, it's
it.
so much easier. It's so easy. And as he stated before, when we put like a second question, you can click and drag. And then, let me close that back. Yes. Okay. So now, then you can edit it, you can change your time if you want to give the students longer, 60 seconds, if you think that's too long, 20 seconds. Usually, honestly, I give about 20, 30 seconds because that's long enough for most of them because you're sitting and waiting if you don't. And then, like you said, you can duplicate the question if it's very similar to what you're doing, if you're going to ask another question close to it, or delete it. Even, this is one thing that he didn't talk too much about it. Let's say you get through this and you're starting before you hit save, and all of a sudden you look and say, oh, well, I kind of wanted to change that. I don't want to do every one. You can go over here, click edit, takes you back to your very beginning, and you can change anything on this that you want to do. And then once you hit OK, go, it goes back to your questions and do what you need.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is. And so if we turn around and we hit save, and then, like he stated, you can share it, you can play it right then, you can preview it, you can edit it. We can turn around and say, if we preview it, okay, when we preview it, it kind of lets you see your side of what you've done and what it would look like for the kids in this.
So if you were me then, and any of the response things that we would be using, like I would be using an iPad or an iPod, depending, I would go ahead and have those apps.
Yeah, I would. Yes, that's what I would do, and it would make it so much easier because, especially for your young ones. Now, your older kids, your 4th, 5th grade, they're going to know how to go in. You just give them the website. They're old enough they can sit through this. But you've got 1st graders in there, and they're going. Some know websites, but to sit down and go, what's a website? I mean, yes, I know by the time that they're usually first grade, they've got technology down.
Yeah.
But to help them out, you just turn around and say, okay, here's your iPad, here's the button you click, and they're in, and say, now put in this number, or if you had someone in there to kind of help you a little bit.
With kindergarten I do.
Yeah.
That's where I would need the help.
Yes. And so, so this one is just, like I said, showing you what the view would end up being, and then if you click I'm done, and then in yours, now, as you notice, this is your account. There's your art vocabulary.
Awesome.
And so in this one, like you said, you can even go through, you can edit, you can duplicate, you can delete it, you can get rid of it, you can do whatever you want to. It's up to you.
I'm
you can do some
to get in
change.
there and play around with what is already there.
Yes, exactly. And just typing in some key terms to get what you need.
Right.
Because there's so much. Like you said, what was it, 14.2 million?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and as always, some students do, but teachers, if you clicked it and said just teacher versions, you probably could find things that you really could use of. You might be able to with some of the students and stuff. So, all right. So what I want to do now, we're pretty much, any questions so far seem pretty simple?
Yes.
Anything, extra that we might have not have, a question that might have come up of anything?
No, not that I know of. I think
Okay.
I've already just blurted them out.
Okay. So, what I want to do now is, you can go ahead and click again, and yes, if you don't care, I may have to punch in my code, let's go, and I'll punch in my code, and game ready, and so now for me, all I want you to do is a little bit of survey on what we've done, and I'll click play. And you're just going to answer a few questions. Okay, it's asking me to sign back in. It must have signed me out. So I'll do that real quick. And just a few quick questions about today's PD, and then we'll be finished. So if there's no other discussion or questions, if you have any discussions or questions, or you want to go back to it or anything, then we'll. Okay, I'm going to do device, give it a second to load. Takes it a second. And we'll do classic because this is just your questions. I'll go ahead and do full screen, and that way you can see them.
Okay, 99.
Yes.
7.
997
2.
652.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to start in just a few seconds. And then I'll go ahead and leave you to that.
Okay.
And then, like I said, we'll see if there's anything else, and we'll go from there.
Oh, I messed up.
That's okay. Go right ahead.
It won't let me go back?
No.
Okay. I was thinking my blue was yes. Okay. It's what I get, isn't it? Not paying attention.
As teachers, we get in a hurry too, don't we? Just like our students.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't think I would let them create on Kahoot. Not
Okay.
my kids, because they're small.
Okay.
The younger ones, probably. I think so.
Okay. Now, one last thing that I want to talk to you a little bit, because I'm assuming it's going to show it on here. Because it did last night, and I was wondering why it didn't show up a minute ago when we did this.
Results?
Yeah, my results. Because it did before, and I'm not understanding why it's not showing on there. Because there is a place that you can save your results. Okay, it started over, so I'm wondering what my situation was. Alright, let's go back out, and I want to stop. Okay, leave page. Because there is a way, usually when you created these, it will come up and it will ask you, I'm not sure exactly why that mine didn't do this one. That may be something I have to go look at and see, and you know,
Let me
report
know.
back to you. Yes, report back to you and let you know. But it will let you go in and save your information.